So welcome to our fourth beautiful book club on prosperity. Some of you guys are on the call yesterday, and I think it's a really good time to continue.
Yes, exactly.
The question is, anybody has a favorite chapter you would like us to read today?
Great question. Any requests?
It is the Silent Prosperity Consciousness Book Club.
Where one does not hear anything.
No. We only see one more person here. Like Mara. The rest are like...
I know, the rest are hiding.
Yeah.
Hiding, Mara.
Today incognito.
Hi, Nora. Hi.
Hi.
Do you have any thing you would like to say?
No, I just today I'm incognito without a camera.
Oh, okay.
I got to see her dog, so she's been on.
Yes, that's true.
Cool.
But she's in bed, and you have fluffing it together with the dog and having a nice time. I'm cooking. Julia's cooking. Great.
Oh, when can we come over?
One of these, I must say, so I'm in Spain, and I talked to one of the chefs there that is going to get a new job in London because they get so not well paid here, and he has a salary under €1,000 a month, and I was looking at that. I was like, would I be willing to have a chef just cooking for me or for people living in my house?
Holy shit balls.
For around €1,000 a month, or even a little bit more. And I looked at that, I'm like, I am very close to that. That would be so much fun. And if you're more than one person, it's like, it ends up, at some point, it ends up being really a price where I'm like, that doesn't really matter. I can make that and add that to my life. But I've been really looking at clarity in pricings as well, because you like think, oh, it's so expensive if you have like chef. It's so expensive if you have this and that. And then I look at it. What he does now, I could literally pay him. Yes, it would add on my expenses and all that, but I wouldn't go under. And I was like, that would be a lot of fun, literally, to have my own chef. And
Damn.
It made me so happy, and I was like,
Well, what you said is so interesting, Lisen, because we don't even look at anything there because we just go, oh, that's too much. We don't even come close to considering it because it's somebody's point of view that it's too far.
You do it when
too
you're
much,
reading,
it's high.
or when you have,
whatever that means. And I love this, and I love the invitation of just even considering it and what that creates in your world. I like it a lot, actually.
Because it's so funny. I like cooking, but time things is not my best thing. And I was like, putting myself in the kitchen, cooking a lot. It's not happening that many times per week. So I was like,
yeah.
But having somebody really enjoying cooking food for me, I love food.
I know. I was going to say you like cooking, but you like eating more, and you're like a connoisseur, so you can also like really appreciate the details.
Absolutely. And then good wine to that or not, or whatever it is. But I was like, what are the things in your life that you'd like to have? And is there a possibility that we haven't even considered? Because I remember I grew up with we had maid, not so many hours that usually have in Argentina. She did a little bit of cooking. She definitely did the cleaning and all that. We weren't adding a lot of people working for us. That was very common, but we didn't have that too much. And then a couple of years ago, I was looking at, I was traveling so much and I kept on not cleaning my apartment as I wanted it to. Then I added somebody cleaning it, and it was not that expensive. And I was like, wow, this is cool. So I started adding different things that were making my life more ease, joy, and I had a lot more fun. But it's funny because one step led to something else, and then led to something else, and led to something. I started somewhere, and I was like, this is very interesting, because it was basically, in Sweden, they have something, our socialist Sweden. They have a thing for well, it's like if you're working on your house or in the garden or cleaning or you're doing some repair, they have some kind of they pay half of it. The government
like
pays
like a subvention or something, like
half.
funding for it.
Mhm.
Wow.
So it's weird, the system. And it's really also basically they were trying to legalize all the work that was everybody was paying black money with. And it's kind of working a little bit better in Sweden that way. But basically 35 euros for cleaning my whole apartment. I was like, yes. That is not something I cannot pay for. I mean, I can go out and buy some clothes for 35 euros and wouldn't really be looking at that. But it was a different choice doing it for another area. And I was like, what are the choices in other areas that I am choosing not to look at with that clarity, and really looking what I would like to add to my life to even have more fun.
Totally love it. Wow.
It's really interesting.
Well, and like you said, one choice does lead to another. And I think it's just that opening up to possibilities and never going into conclusion. Keep on asking, what do I desire? What do I desire? And yeah, so what can we all look at that we haven't even considered? What can we allow ourselves to desire in a way, right? Like, because this, with the cook thing, like my body just got really happy too. And actually, it's like, you don't even like allow yourself to consider it. And yeah, what can we open up with that? And what would you like to consider that you haven't even considered that you want to consider? Like, you don't even have to choose it, but the fact that you're looking at it opens up so much stuff.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
I looked at a house this weekend where I was looking at, hey, for the first time I saw a house I would like to buy, and then most likely will not be my house because they already put a bid and all that. But when I was looking at it and the amount of money and all that, and I was like, what would I like to have in that house, and a big property and everything? I was like, oh, I'd really need a lot of help. So there were already people working there. So okay, I could take over some of those people. And it was just interesting to see how would I create my life in that matter. And definitely I saw the way people are creating their lives in the countryside is very different. I was like, oh, I'd like to contribute to that even. So what businesses can I create by being there, and what can I contribute to them? And it's just like this creation. This is where I love prosperity, because prosperity and wealth is not so much about the money. It's also about being that energy and seeing what that create. And I was like, oh, it's so different in my universe. It was very interesting. And also that everything I consider also contributes to me looking at things in a different way. So house has really contributed to me looking at money in a different way, how much cash I'd like to have, because it would be on a cash payment house and not on a credit. What's different in the house? So I was like, wow, I need a little bit more cash now. So and I really love cash. So I was like, okay, that's definitely going to be in my life now. So I can have that possibility of just like, hey, down payment, bye, I'm having this.
Yeah, awesome. So cool. Love it.
So anybody, does it pop? And somebody just wrote something in the chat. Maybe I am cooking. Oh, that was a cooking.
That's the one that got this awesome thing that you shared triggered. So no request, no special last call requests from your side, guys?
Well, I have one.
There you are. I knew it.
What do you think about reading the Power of Gratitude? Like a scarcity frame of mind keeps people from expecting true gratitude.
Very possible. In my book, it's page 54. 30. What is it in your book?
My book is before your book.
I know.
I love that chapter. I was like, have we not read gratitude? I was like,
apparently. So thank you, Dagmara.
Oh, thank you.
Gratitude. I love that. I was looking at living in the question too, but I was like, I'm not sure everything. The funny part, I'm reading it at the same time myself, so I'm forgetting which ones did we read together.
I'm like, did I read it?
I'm reading on my own. I thought, but I read it, but I'm not sure I read it with you guys. So
no, I don't think so.
Here in my world. So let's go with page 33 or page
54.
The power of gratitude. Should I start?
Yes, please.
Let's do that. In this chapter, Tissa talks about the following ideas. Gratitude, an essential constituent of abundance and wealth. Ooh, the scarcity frame of mind versus gratitude. A way get to the truth of your reactions and emotions. Oh, tools you can use to develop gratitude. In 2004, Steve and I traveled around Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia, presenting at a leadership boot camp on the topic transforming your organization from a scarcity paradigm to a prosperity consciousness. During these boot camps, we talked about the power of gratitude. And we asked the senior leaders we worked with to share with us their experience of gratitude in their lives. I found that most people experience gratitude only when something they thought of as good happened. The more we worked with these business leaders, the more I noticed how many people misidentified what gratitude is all about. Some of the people we work with stated that they made a daily practice of keeping a gratitude journal. A gratitude journal is simply writing down each day the things one is grateful for. We observed that these people had a tendency to do gratitude as a routine act they performed without scarcity and without genuinely being grateful. Quite a few people we know had gratitude journals packed full of shopping lists of things that they say they are grateful for. However, the lists they have compiled do not seem to translate into an energetic state of gratefulness. Please don't get us wrong. We're not belittling the gratitude journal. It is a useful tool if you are using it consciously, but it seems like a mindless act of pretense if you're not experiencing an energetic state of gratitude as you use the tool. A scarcity frame of mind keeps people from experiencing true gratitude. Steve and I were supposed to see this recurring misidentification and misinterpretation of what gratitude really means. We were prompted to examine the basis of this confusion and found that a scarcity frame of mind is the main perpetrator that keeps people from experiencing true gratitude. People who have a scarcity frame of mind have attitude, mindsets, feelings, and values associated with lack or the fear of lack. They believe there is not enough to go around for everyone in the world. Scarcity becomes a way of life for them. They often experience a feeling of lack as part of their reality. They judge that there is scarcity and lack in their world. As a result, that is what they see all around them. It is hard for them to be grateful when they assume that there's not enough and when they perceive life is to be difficult. During one of the workshops Gary conducted in Australia, New Zealand, and Auckland, New Zealand, on money and consciousness, a lady talked about her fear of lack, which was deeply entrenched in her relationship with money. She asked Gary, "So what is lacking here?" And Gary replied, "The one thing you lack is you. Everything else is total abundance. You use huge amounts of force to create a lack of you in order to create all the lacks in your life. You have a great ability to create lack. The main lack is the unwillingness to be you. Your scarcity state of mind is deeply ingrained. You have to be willing to change it before you will ever be prosperous and successful." A scarcity mindset leads to competitive thinking. Many people believe that in order to get what they want, they have to take it away from somebody else. They feel envious and resentful when someone else has something they would like to have. They believe that if someone else has something they desire, then they themselves will have to go without. They think that if they choose to do one thing, then they'll have to give up something else. This scarcity point of view encourages fear and worry. It is not easy for people to have gratitude when they are convinced that there is not enough to go around, especially when there's a point of view keep creating situations where they get to be right about how difficult life is. Sorry. I want it to be different. They assume that the reality of lack and scarcity is true, but nothing could be further from the actual truth. Miss Kalpana.
Thank you. Dealing with envy, resentment, bitterness, and fear. A client of ours, Judy, worked as a solicitor in a large law firm in London. She had an intense, difficult time when she was passed over for a promotion, and one of her colleagues was made senior partner of the firm. Judy asked for our guidance to deal with the knotty feelings of envy, resentment, and bitterness, and her fear of being left behind. She described the discomfort she felt as she watched her colleague attain the kind of recognition she wanted for herself. She had a hard time being genuinely happy for her colleague. She felt confused and embarrassed by her jealousy about her colleague's success. We asked Judy to be aware of the possibility that she might have bought into the lies and limitations of scarcity. We invited her to consider that she was not confined to her circumstance due to a deficiency of opportunities. We suggested that she might like to consider that there is enough for everyone and to see abundant prospects in everything. However, to access that true experience of abundance, she had to be willing to relinquish her erroneous belief about scarcity and lack. Instead of tormenting herself about missing out on an opportunity, we asked her to acknowledge that her apprehensions, uneasiness, and misery about the lack of opportunity were not real. Getting into the truth of feelings and reactions. Oh boy. We recommended that Judy use an access tool called Making It Infinite to get at the truth of her issues. We asked her to take the feelings of envy, resentment, and bitterness that she experienced and to make them infinite. We coached her to make them as big as the universe and then make them bigger than the universe, not internal, but infinite. When Judy did this exercise, she said that her feelings faded away and disappeared. We suspected that they would disappear since they were lies, even though Judy thought that they were true. This access tool illustrates that when you make your feelings and reactions bigger than the universe, what is true becomes more full and substantial. So your feelings become more real. They take up more space, and if they are lies, they dissipate. They go away. This is an awesome tool because when you perceive that your feelings are not real, then you won't buy into them. You won't create your life based on what is not real and not true. When Judy recognized that she had been functioning based on a lie of scarcity, then she chose to create her success rather than compete for a limited potential. When Judy did this, she ceased to be a victim of her circumstances. She began to reclaim her power over her life, and she was able to see opportunities in everything. How does it get any better than this? Since then, Judy has begun to look at what she is not willing to receive in her life. She has become aware that whatever she is unwilling to receive actually limits the amount she can have in her life. You want to do the next one? Cool.
I can do that. What does living with gratitude look like? When we work with people to help them move from the scarcity paradigm to prosperity consciousness, I'm continually surprised by how many of them never consider gratitude as part of their beingness. Most people want to have more money, but do not have any gratitude for the money they already have. When people don't have gratitude for what they have and just desire to have more, then they create a sense of need. A sense of need for more money often leads to a sense of greed, which means they try to hold on to what they have as though there is never going to be any more. I can say in the situation when I was changing things with money where I had not enough or very little, it was interesting that what I did not want to let go is what was my point of view, that I wasn't doing something right. So I could, at some point, it's of course a choice, but it was hard for me to be grateful because I didn't want to let go of the point of view that I was not good or I wasn't right, like I was wrong because it wasn't working. So it was one of the things I had to change a lot when I was looking at really being grateful for what I had, is letting go of the judgments I had towards myself. And I can say that took a little while to really let go, and it still pops up. It was very interesting that it became very apparent when I was looking at being grateful, because I could be it and then I let it go because I judged too much. So it's just want to point that out. Steve and I found living with gratitude to be an essential.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, because I think that people sometimes see people who have been using the tools longer and they think that they were always like that, but they weren't.
No.
So like even for me, when I met you, I was like, oh my God, what would it take to have so much ease? And then you were like, you actually already have it. Oh. But it's true. Like we, it's, thank you for that. And yesterday, for those people who have not chosen the Wealth and Prosperity series, Prosperity and Wealth series, they were talking so much about not judging yourself or not judging when you look at your bank account. And it's such a huge thing because we do it so much and it's such a basic thing. And somehow I get with them when we're busy with the access tools, somehow we don't necessarily verbalize this one about not judging yourself. And, yesterday I saw how much it created in people's worlds. Like, wow, I actually don't have to judge it. I can create something else now and I don't have to make myself wrong. So thanks for that one. I just wanted to bring that up for you guys.
I love you bringing up that with the bank account because most people avoid knowing what's in the bank account.
Oh, totally.
Control freaks. And I can say the only thing when I avoid it is when I have starting to create any point of view that I'm not creating enough. Like if I'm not active enough, that's where I'm like, I have a tendency not to look at my bank account and I'm like, that's stupid. But I could see
that is
it's hilarious. I'm like, really? But I need to anyway because I do so much accounting there. But it's like, really interesting to see that a lot of like money is what you have in the bank account, and either you are okay to judge yourself a lot because you don't have enough, or you're going to judge yourself in the right way because you have a lot. So either way, we're often judging, but it's really funny how much we use it against ourselves.
Exactly. So and that has changed so much for me. Now it's more fun to look at me like, oh, I wonder what came. I know that some stuff came through. I saw it in my app. I wonder what it is now. What's going on?
Love it. Love it. I love it. Steve and I have found living with gratitude to be an essential constituent of having abundance and wealth. Yes. Living with gratitude is about having totally gratitude for ourselves, for all that we have, and for our ability to generate money with ease. So guys, when you read a sentence like that, it's so funny because you can read it and it sounds great and you're like, yeah, I get it. Or you can read it and look like, okay, do you do that? Do you want to live with gratitude? Do you want to be grateful for yourself? And then becomes a choice to do it. And if you keep on forgetting it, what needs to be done or chosen to institute that in your lives? Because it's so easy to read a book and be happy about it, and it's a totally different thing to really be living it. That's why I'm so happy about the 3 months too, because we're gonna live it, and it's up to us to choose it, of course, because that's like, it's really a choice to judge you, and I know it feels like it's not a choice because it's there all the time, but what if you were willing to stop it? Living with your gratitude involves living with no resistance. It is about remaining constantly open, vulnerable, and unresisting to any energy. It is about totally being and embodying gratitude. Gratitude is not just a response to attaining something we desire or expect. It is a state of beingness. It is a part of who we are in every moment. When Steve and I first became aware that we were functioning in a scarcity paradigm, then we began to explore what it would be like for us to get out of it. We discovered that to invite large sums of money into our lives, we had to first and foremost have gratitude for money and be aware of the expansiveness that money can provide. As soon as we chose to embody gratitude as a part of who we were, then we received an invitation to talk to the peak body representing the arts sector in Australia, with a history of functioning from scarcity. They had no budget to pay us to talk to them. However, we perceived that our presentation on prosperity consciousness would change their limiting paradigm and make a difference in the art world. We accepted the invitation. I'm going to just mute you, Kalpana. Sorry. I think you're making a little noise. Somebody is, no, that's not
I'm
you.
actually muted. It's somebody.
Nora. It was Nora. Sorry. After that presentation, we received many calls from people who were present at our talk. They told us that they had chosen to adopt a prosperity point of view in their organization. A CEO from Perth who had attended the session was so impressed with the ease and joy she had found in her life since she chose to live with gratitude that she asked us to go to Perth to give a 2-day seminar on prosperity consciousness for the executives and managers in her organization. This seminar was well received, and it marked the beginning of our seminars on transforming the business of your life and the life of your business through prosperity consciousness. The point we are making here is that we attracted more clients and greater income because of our gratitude and our willingness to receive. We had gratitude for what we received personally in the way of more money and increased business, but we also believed in the potential money to facilitate expansion of consciousness and change the world. Our gratitude and ability to receive enormous amount of money, together with the ability to perceive, know, be, and receive the good that money can facilitate, had determined the circumstances and situation we had encountered in life. These types of exquisite and extraordinary incidents regularly happen since Steve and I have made living with gratitude and receiving everything without judgment a guiding philosophy in our lives. Because we live from a place of gratitude and willingness to receive everything without great judgment, we have infinite choice. Every time a miracle incident occurs, we acknowledge that we have created it with total gratitude to us and to the universe. Then we invite the universe to send us more basking this question: what else is possible?
Beautiful. Gratitude is about receiving. Gratitude is the place in which we are grateful for everything that we are and everything that we have with no judgment. It is impossible to be prosperous without a willingness to receive with gratitude. Gratitude is about receiving, and receiving is about gratitude. Gratitude goes hand in hand with prosperity consciousness. When Steve and I talk about gratitude, we are talking about a state of beingness, not an action or some meaningless charade. Gratitude is a choice in every moment. Being grateful is remarkable for 3 reasons. First and foremost, gratitude feels awesome. It gives us a spring in our steps and a twinkle in our eyes. Gratitude creates space and a sense of richness and aliveness so that every day becomes a celebration. Second, when we begin to appreciate the good we have in our lives, we open ourselves up to more good. When we focus on gratefulness and appreciation, then we become aware of how all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. And third, gratitude prevents us from having a competitive mindset and a scarcity paradigm. We are able to live on the creative edge. Gratitude booster, like that. The bottom line is this: whatever you focus on expands. When you focus on gratitude, what are you focusing on? Are you putting your attention on what's right in your life? You are clearly focusing on what is wondrous and marvelous. Since you get more of what you focus on, you will keep getting more of what is great about your life. When was the last time you truly appreciated the magic that you are? Make a practice of focusing on what you have rather than on what you're missing. Stop thinking of yourself as broke. When things are not working the way you wish, instead of complaining, ask this question: what's right about this that I'm not getting? From this moment on, I invite you to look for the rightness of you and your life. Stop judging and complaining. Feel and express gratitude for you, for your life, and for everyone and everything around you all the time. You don't have to wait for something good to happen so that you can be grateful. It's a great one. I invite you to embody gratitude. Make it the state of your beingness and a part of who you are in every moment, not just a response to attain something you desire or expect. Embodying the gratitude of you allows everything else in your life to show up. You can begin to embody gratitude by choosing to notice all that you have to be grateful for and by expressing your gratitude earnestly without hesitation. Tools you can use to develop gratitude. Invite more of what is wonderful and marvelous into your life. Things to do. Look for the rightness in your life. Focus on what you have. Express gratitude for you, for your life, and for everyone and everything around you including the money that you have. Appreciate the magic that you are. Stop thinking of yourself as broke and stop judging anything. Things to ask. When things are not working the way you wish, instead of complaining, ask, what's right about this that I'm not getting yet? And when a miraculous incident occurs, be grateful to yourself and the universe. Acknowledge that you created it. Invite the universe to send more of the same by asking what else is possible. Your reactions and emotions. Something to do when you experience a feeling, make it as big as the universe. 3, make it even bigger than the universe. 4, notice, does your feeling or reaction fade away and disappear, or does it become more full and substantial? And 5, if the reaction dissipates, then it's a lie. If it becomes more real, more full and substantial, then it's true. Yay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would love to continue with the next chapter. What do you get, Lisa?
I love that one. Yes. We.
Yes.
I'd
I'm
love
away. Please go for it.
So living in and ask the question. The power of living in and ask the question. Ask the question creates an invitation for the universe to provide what is possible. Worrying about the answers versus focusing on the question. Questions that attract the people, circumstances, and opportunities you desire. Conscious creation is about creating by living in and as the question. This is an incredibly powerful attracting energy to bring you the people, circumstances, and opportunities you desire in your life. Living in and as the question means using questions to bypass the limited answers that your mind provides. A question creates a possibility of things, not the limitations. A question allows you to see beyond conventional concepts. When you live in and as the question, then you engage a powerful universal force that will assist you to realize your endeavor. Questions help you to facilitate the change you desire. Oh my God. They help you overcome obstacles and enable you to function from your knowing. Living in and as a question allows you to create your life with awareness. If I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on the solution, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I knew the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes. Many people are asking for answers and not asking the wisest questions. Albert Einstein. Oh my God.
Wow.
Do you continue?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Asking questions creates an invitation. Steve and I are able to create our lives more consciously when we live in and ask the question. When we are faced with challenging situations, instead of becoming vested in finding answers or solutions, we cultivate an attitude of curiosity. Rather than trying to prove our answers are right, we allow new possibilities to manifest in our lives by asking questions. When we live in and ask the question, then we create an invitation for the universe to provide. Let us share with you an example of how we have used questions to create a reality. At one stage of writing this book, our accountant informed us that due to having had a very successful year, there was a large sum of income tax we had to pay within few weeks. Previously, we would have been greatly distressed at having to pay this hefty sum of money right away in one payment. We would have become panic-stricken, trying to figure out how to get more money quickly. We would have dwelled on the wrongness of the situation. We would have assumed all kinds of limited ideas, such as, the only way we can get extra money immediately is by ... This would have locked us in the finite rather than allowing for the infinite possibilities that were in this instant. Instead of moaning, "What's wrong?" we asked questions. How does it get any better than this? What's right about this that we are not getting? These questions put us in the infinite instead of the finite and allowed us to become aware of what else was possible. When we asked the question, what's right about this that we are not getting, then we started to look at what was good about that situation rather than looking at what was bad. This question asks for awareness and unlimited capacity to perceive and to receive. Living in and as the question showed us that this tax was a recognition of how successful we had been. Instead of judging it as an imposition and a burden, we chose to celebrate it instead. By changing our perspective about the income tax, we allowed ourselves to receive more income. By living an in and as the question, we created an invitation. We then asked another question. What would it take for at least this amount of dollars to show up with ease? The next day, we got a phone call from an old client we had not heard from over 18 months. He asked us to come and shake their board of directors out of their self-imposed limitations. 2 days later, two different organizations called, asking us to conduct conscious strategic planning workshops for them. We had never met any of these people before. Over the next week, almost daily, unexpected requests and proposals for assignments arrived via email or phone. We were able to pay the taxes from what we made on just 2 of these jobs. Ha, how cool is that? We are now willing to pay massive amounts of income tax because that means we can receive colossal amounts of money in income. How does it get any better than this? Can you see how this works? It was clear that we immediately required more money than we had imagined. Boom! A day later, we had landed a substantial assignment that would provide extra money with ease. And the next day, another 2 people called to engage us for workshop facilitation. What was the secret? By choosing to live as the question, we were able to perceive outside a fixed view of reality and beyond the limited and elusive content of thought. When we asked, what would it take for at least this amount of dollars to show up with ease, then we allowed the universe to provide opportunities for that to happen. When we chose to live as the question, rather than being besieged by the problems of becoming vested in finding answers and solutions, then we allowed the universe to provide a response that was greater than anything we could determine or imagine. So,
Really. Don't worry about the answer, focus on the question. How many times have you told yourself you wanted to have more money and then got busy trying to figure out how to generate it? Did you end up with more money or did you end up apprehensive or panicky? Please recognize that I want to have more money and I must have this are not questions. When you're not able to figure out the how, then you may tend to assume that a situation can't possibly turn out well. Or if you're able to create some money, but not the amount you require, then you may become disappointed, disillusional, or upset. When you do this, you stop the money flow altogether. Instead of trying to figure out things out, ask, what would it take for to show up? The universe will give you opportunities for that to happen. In this way, unlimited potential and infinite possibilities will emerge in ways that you may never have imagined. There are infinite possibilities and way in which things can manifest. Action is just a means to an end. When you live as a question rather than trying to figure out the answer, then you allow the universe to give you an answer. This answer is always greater than anything you could figure out. When you ask a question, things start to show up in a magical ways. Questions open new possibilities. They allow you to perceive outside a fixed and limited view of reality, beyond the limited and elusive content of thought. Don't worry about the answer. Focus on the questions. Learn to love the questions themselves. The magic is this. If you ask questions with sincerity and earnestness, then your life itself will become a living response to them. You will start living as the question. Living as the question is powerful. If your questions are infinite and you really don't know the answer, then you set the stage for previously unthinkable leaps of consciousness. When you open up to genuine wonder, then you step out of the zone of the known into the infinite creative possibilities of the unknown. Replacing negative thoughts with unlimited questions. By living in the question, I am able to be totally present and function in the simultaneity of past, present, and future. I'm not influenced unconsciously by past events or future concerns. When I ask a non-linear and unlimited question, and if I don't have a preconceived idea of an extended outcome or answer, then I set the stage for receiving insights otherwise unattainable. Whenever I have negative or unproductive thoughts, feel besides by problems or become vesting in finding answer solutions, then I ask unlimited questions. What is it that I'm not getting about this? What am I unwilling to receive here? What am I pretending not to know about? What am I denying that I know about? What would it take for ... to happen? What are the infinite possibilities that this will work out better than I could ever imagine? These questions are exceptional tools for discovering the appropriate response to situations or problems. When I ask these types of questions, then things start to show up for me in different ways. The more I ask questions, the more aware I become of the options and possibilities I have. You want to take one? Is she there? Yes.
Yeah. Asking questions to get out of a sticky situation. When we were in Perth, Western Australia, conducting conscious leadership seminars, the CEO of the retail division of a major financial organization shared with us that he was disturbed by a situation related to his staff. He had just received a legal letter and was feeling depressed and bitter about the situation. We suggested that he ask himself a question: how did I create this? This question is helpful because it exposes the unconscious side of a situation. However, the CEO became agitated when we suggested that he ask himself this question. He didn't like the idea that he had created the situation he was in. He thought that asking the question meant he had to take the blame for the situation. We explained to him that the question was not about blame, shame, fault, or guilt. We encouraged him to recognize that if he was experiencing a limitation or difficulty in his life, there had to be something that he was unwilling to perceive. In truth, if anything in his life was not working, it was because he was unwilling to perceive, know, be, or receive something. Until he was able to acknowledge that he was responsible for his reality, then he didn't have the power to change it. We suggested that he ask, how did I create this, as a way of empowering himself. We explained that he became a victim of the situation when he searched for someone to blame. He became the master of his situation when he claimed and acknowledged that he was the creator of his reality. And as we worked with him, he saw that the question, how did I create this, would allow him to become open to receiving everything in his life and work, no matter what it might look like. This was a major transformation for him. He stated, I now see more clearly what my choices are, and I feel empowered. Shall we do a little bit more?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just finish this section. A question to use on a daily basis. When Steve and I became frustrated with our circumstances and can't see our options clearly, we often ask this question: how does it get any better than this? This is a great question to use on a daily basis. Asking it is one of the fastest ways to lighten the energy of a situation. It is a ticket for getting out of the places where we are stuck. When we find ourselves having some kind of difficulty or involved in an incongruity, or even if we are feeling agitated, weary, or out of sorts, the best way to lighten the energy is to ask, how does it get any better than this? When we use this question, we invite the universe to tell us or to show us how it gets better. This is how we get out of the trauma and the drama that we create for ourselves. We also use how does it get any better than this when things are working out well and we are feeling great. This question invites the universe to show us that there are infinite possibilities greater than we can imagine. Recently, we had an amazing experience of the power of asking this question. We were planned to attend an Access workshop in Brisbane. At the last minute, we decided to leave one night earlier than planned. When we arrived and went to check into our favorite hotel, I was told that we did not have a booking until the next day. I suddenly realized that I had forgotten to change our hotel booking. The hotel manager, who knows us well because we stay at that hotel regularly, told us that he was very sorry, but he did not have a room for us. They were completely sold out for the night. I couldn't help but laugh as I asked out loud in front of the manager, how does it get any better than this? And what else is possible? I had no expectation of the hotel manager doing anything to fix the situation. I was asking the question so the universe could give me an awareness of what was possible. The manager asked us to wait a moment, as he would see if there was something else he could do for us. We thought he was going to check with another hotel across town for availability. Instead, he returned with a room key and said, "Please enjoy." We expressed our gratitude to him, pleased that we did not have to change hotels. We happily took the elevator up to our room, which was located on the top floor. When we got to the room, we discovered that the manager had given us the executive suite. We said to each other, "Wow, this is awesome. How does it get any better than this?" We immediately went down to thank the manager for his kindness. When we did, he told us with a broad smile on his face, "You are most welcome. Oh, I forgot to mention that you can have the room at the regular room rate." We thanked him again, and we received his gift with gratitude. As we went up to our room in the elevator, we said to each other, "How did we get to be so lucky? How does it get any better than this?" The next morning, when we went to the hotel reception to check into our original booking, there was a message from the manager saying that he would love for us to stay in the executive suite for the duration of our visit. How does it get any better than this? Yay!
I love it.
Right? So
I'm
cool.
amazing. It's really cool. Do you want to do the questions?
I think it could be fun for people. Yeah.
Do that. So I think we should do some concrete stuff here, maybe, because there's a lot
Yeah.
of things you can put. So wonder if you guys want to put something and have a topic of something you want to create just now as an exercise. So if there's something specific, you want to go traveling, an amount, or a new house, or I don't know, anything, add that into the blank of every question. So choose something. Tools you can use to attract the people, circumstances, and opportunities you desire. Ask questions to create an invitation for the universe to provide. When faced with a challenging situation, cultivate an attitude of curiosity. Allow for the infinite possibilities that are available to you by asking questions. Questions to ask. Here we go. How does it get any better than this? What's right about this that I'm not getting? What would it take for... Now you put it in, whatever that is, to show up with ease. What is it going to take to get? What is it going to take to create? What is it going to take to have? What is it going to take to happen? And replace negative thoughts with unlimited questions, something to do. Discover appropriate responses to a challenging situation and become aware of the options and possibilities by asking questions. Here again, questions you can ask. What am I not getting about this? What am I unwilling to receive here? What am I pretending not to know about? Whatever that is. What am I denying to know about? What would it take for to happen? What are the infinite possibilities of this will work out better than I could ever imagine? How did I get so lucky? Sorry. How did I create this? When things are working out well, invite the universe to provide possibilities greater than you could imagine. And how does it get any better than this? That's when it showed up. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Yummy,
So
yummy,
awesome.
yummy.
Hey guys, Julius, okay, let's see if you guys have questions, because please go for it. This is the last part of the call and the last part of this series. Julius says, I already read that before, but when you read it, it still makes big energy shift for me. Thank you. How does it get any better than this? Wonderful.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it is true. It's really enjoying just hearing somebody read it and just allowing myself to receive it in a different way. So I get what you're saying, Julia. Does anybody have any other thing to ask or you would like us to look at? We could, of course, keep reading. We have just 5 more minutes, so it'll be fun to see if there's something up in your worlds.
It's not really a question. It's just something I'm experiencing right now because the question of what do I create is a very interesting one, especially when it's coming to having a look at my account. And that's why I started exactly this month to write down everything that comes in and that gets out. And I was really, really surprised what already comes in. And that was kind of, therefore I'm really grateful for, because that shows me that I am able to create.
That's awesome.
That's just something I wanted to contribute.
Thank you for that, because it's awesome where you see like, oh my God, I've actually created this much, instead of what you haven't created yet, because we tend to look at what is not working. So wonderful. And what would it take for that to exponentialize and to grow and to grow and to grow?
Because, for example, 10 years ago, I was with someone, and we were like, oh my God, if we both could create a certain amount. And today I realized that I'm exactly 50 euros away from this amount all by myself.
Wow. Well done. That's really awesome.
That's impressive, I found, and I was not aware of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. That's great.
Thank you for the calls.
So welcome. Cool. Anybody else?
I can really just, if you guys, it depends on what book you have, of course, but at the end of the book,
yeah,
there is really great things. So it's like a workbook. So it starts self-inquiry workbook, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. It's really good. It really gives you a little bit of story about things, questions. I love the part about emotions. Everybody has a lot of emotions attached to money. And what your financial sob story that you have created as life.
I've never done that.
What is the story you're telling yourself about your financial situation? What are the assumptions and limiting beliefs you're functioning from in life? And you become an emotional, and it's so funny if you really looked at that and went through them and saw what is running your life with your sob story. So I would highly recommend looking at that.
Yes.
And really, it is like the money. If you have done the money workbook, you don't do it one time, you do it several times.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with this one as well. It has a lot of content and then questions. And for me, it's really personally to be honest with yourself and then see what happens when you're honest. If you're willing to really look at it, if you're willing to look at it and change, or you're just willing to say it and you keep it anyway. Like, yeah, it's funny.
It's so true. So true. I don't know what page it is. The key points to lead yourself to money with consciousness. It's further down in that part after all the questions and exercises. It's really the last part. It's 182 on mine.
136.
Could that be fun for us to read?
Anything is fun in this book.
That kind of popped for me. Or is there anything else?
I think that's a good idea of having the end of this amazing book club. Yes. Yes.
It's you? It's me.
It's me? You? I
don't know.
I
have no clue, actually.
No, it's me, because I listened to your hotel story, I think. Or did I read afterwards? Oh my God, I don't have a book.
That's so funny. Who remembers who read for last? I think it's you.
We can read half of the page each. Half of the page.
That's a good idea. You start, and then I will do the rest.
3 points of leading yourself to money with conscious awareness. True abundance has nothing to do with what you have. It has everything to do who you choose to be.
Oh.
The universe is an abundant place. There are truly infinite possibilities. If you choose to be prosperous and to be prosperity consciousness, then you can be. If you choose to be unconscious and to live in the scarcity paradigm, then you create your life based on that. It's your choice. Your consciousness always determines your conditions and circumstances. Unless your prosperity consciousness expands, your relationship with money will remain the same. You will have the same degree of limitation, the same mess. The key to transforming your consciousness around money is to take a leadership role in your life. You must choose to become the leader of your own life and the creator of your own reality. You must begin to expand your ability to receive everything with gratitude and without judgment.
True story. To
embrace.
Oh, I have like
I have like an echo going on.
Maybe I should turn off.
To embrace prosperity consciousness, you have to step up and become more than you have been willing to be. This means you must become willing to be more in every respect. You have to stop refusing to be everything you truly are. Are you willing to step out of the scarcity's paradigm and become the outstanding, glorious, and magnificent being you truly are? Money is actually easy to attract. There is an abundance of money and resources, a never-ending supply. It is only your unwillingness to receive that makes money hard for you to obtain. Your ability to create unlimited amounts of money is conditioned by two factors: the point of view you have about money and your resistance to it. These are the factors that create your unwillingness to receive. The main thing you're unwilling to receive is the greatness of you. If you are willing to receive the uniqueness and the greatness of you, and if you are willing to allow the world and everyone to see the uniqueness and the greatness of you, then the world will give to you what you truly deserve. When you receive the greatness of you truly are, then everything in your life will start to transform, including your financial situation. Being open and willing to receive everything with gratitude and without judgment will allow you to expand your awareness and ability and to access infinite possibilities. And the last one, all of your unwillingness to receive the greatness of who you truly are and all of the talents, abilities, and awareness that you decided you couldn't have, will you now claim, own, and acknowledge them and destroy and uncreate everything that doesn't allow them to exist.
Yes.
Yoo-hoo, yes. Yeah. Oh, I see Petra who has written something which, wow, that is so cool. Finally, she says, I would like to share that because of the foundation, she just followed her so many years foundation class with me, book club and Zoom yesterday, I make a goal to step out of government payment before 1st of September. So proud now. I have to go. Thank you both so much for these 4 calls. That is so cool. She was getting a subsidy from the government, but she was also seeing that it was creating a lot of rules and regulations and a lot of limitations. And so she has chosen to step out of that scarcity to prosperity. How does it get any better than that?
I love it. Oh my God. That's
really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Petra. Woo.
Oh my God.
That's so cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, totally. So cool. I wonder, Lisen, would it be fun, just since everybody has been reading Prosperity Consciousness with us and it's written by the Bowmans, would you want to say something about the series that they are themselves doing? Would that be fun?
Yeah, I mean, you mean the one that started yesterday?
Yeah. I mean, it's more of the same energy, but then live.
Well, one of the things I've seen in my life, also, I've known them for years now, but also working with them and being closer to them is the gift of being with people that function in a different way. That invitation. Yeah. When people function in a different way, I function my way. That is my normal reality, and sometimes a lot of unconsciousness. So I don't see where I'm functioning. So when I'm having them closer by, everything gets very clear. Oh, I want to go over there. That's the playground I want to have. And I've really been asking to have a program with them for a while because I've been on calls and classes and I love them. But I said to them, we can set up a new telecall and that will be great. but what would happen with people if they were with you for a longer time? And they did comment on that, because she said, yes, because becoming prosperity and conscious is not something you do overnight. It's something you constantly choose daily in your life. And so she got what I was asking for, and there's a couple more people asking, so they decided yes. And during the last couple of weeks, they changed the whole program to be even more present. So the funny part is now we have weekly meetings, calls with them. We have daily inspiration that wasn't set up from the beginning. A daily, nobody knows that yet. That's really daily, or at least daily as much as possible, because they might be flying around the world. But basically, they wanted to do daily every day at the same time, having something we work with, not just something, oh yeah, that sounds great. It's an inspiration to look at for that day. So it's really like a workbook in action every day throughout 3 months, if you're willing to be prosperous and prosperity and wealth, something that I don't think most of us even have a clue how to be that or to choose that. And looking at financial reality, looking at net worth, looking at costs and everything. So being very pragmatic. And they really truly want to allow us to create, if you want to create, like say you want to create a lot more money, they want to create that platform so it's easy for you to do that. And they also chose an amount that was really, for me personally, I have the point of view it's really cheap. And it's different for every person. So I'm not saying, long time.
Oh, I have to just say, it is like really cheap. If you look at the fact that these people work with the biggest firms and the most top notch in the field, it's already not expensive. And then considering the level of expertise and brilliance, yeah,
I just might not even have $550.
No. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
but no, it's so cheap. It basically would have cost like $1,500, and a program like this is definitely not set on that. But they were like, no, we don't want people to stop themselves due to money, and let's play with their points of views. And they really look from, hey, what will create a different reality, and that's when they go for it, and they don't choose. They choose so different. So I'm just so grateful. I'm like, wow, we started yesterday. This is gonna go on for 3 months. It's like I was like, you don't say it that way, the brainwashed in the best way possible. Like getting out of what, because it's so funny how money limitations I still can keep in my world, even if I've changed a lot, and some I don't even notice. And they just ping it here and there about things. And when I was looking at the house, I got really excited and just thought, be aware of expectation. I'm like, oh, thank you. Yes, don't go in there. That doesn't create anything. So, and it's so beautiful, all of those things. So I'm grateful. And then a lot of you guys are on. So I'm like, wow, what a gift. I'm like, I'm honored to be working with them. So I'm like,
yeah, super cool. It is, and it is really what I found also, not just what you said, the weekly thing, but then also daily prompts, like just something to look at all day. And like, so it's actually a 3-month expansion of your financial reality in your world altogether. And then to be doing it with people from all over the world. Wow, how cool is that? I just wanted to add that, because I also see that it's also as practical as like there is a special app for this. So people are up on all different moments of the day. And like I went to bed really late yesterday and I saw all these messages. And when I woke up, other people who were still up had written during the night. And it's kind of like an ongoing party. And that for 3 months with these amazing people, for me, it's just kind of an it's like, wow, how this is even possible. These guys are so generous. And the only reason I brought this up is because, you're obviously interested in this topic. Otherwise you wouldn't be doing the book club with us.
That's true.
And you might have even missed it. There's so much out there. So yeah.
No, I know a lot of people have really missed it. So it was really funny how many missed it. But definitely. But one of the prompts today, so make a choice today to take 100% responsibility for your own life and your financial reality. And from today, observe yourself throughout the week to see if you blame others for the situation and the events of your life. And you might just have the answer, you're not doing that or whatever, but it's really looking to observe wherever your thoughts go. And I was like, oh, this is going to just be interesting because some things may just sneak in that you're not aware of. And I'm like, oh. I'm aware that I'm the creator of my life, but where is there anywhere that I am still having something of that energy? I want to change that.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Yes,
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this might not be the last book club we do.
No, I think we. I would love to do
Hopefully
something.
not.
Thank you.
We have a couple other books we love, so that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. I'm already like, well, thank you, Lisen. Thanks for creating this with me. So fun.
And thank you, Penelope, for all the help.
Exactly. Thank you for all the back end work. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. For those who are live now and those who are listening later. Yeah, cool.
People.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for everything. It was amazing.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Beautiful evening, everybody.
Yes. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next time.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.